Hello, English 3 students. If you didn't make it to class today, either in fifth or eighth periods, this video will serve as sort of your rundown of what we did, what you should be doing to make sure that you're all caught up. So first of all, I'm going to start on the classroom page, just like you should. Another thing you should do when you start up is click on the outline. This, again, like I've said in class, is our basically like our whiteboard. It's where everything is that you'll need. Yesterday, if you weren't in class, we did our first day of school where we talked about Flipgrid to make a metaphorical show and tell video. If you haven't done that yet or you're not sure what you need to do for it, you can click on whichever link is the class that you're in. So fifth period, you click this one, and for eighth period, you click that one. Both of them will take you to a similar slideshow. The only difference is inside that slideshow there's a link to Flipgrid, and the Flipgrid link corresponds to your correct class. So make sure that's completed, and if you've already uploaded your video, excellent. If you haven't yet, please try to respond to a couple of the videos just so we can encourage a little more interaction with one another. The more of that we can have, the better, I would say. And then the other thing today that we had to do is the Getting to Know You form on Google. So if you are in eighth period, you click this link and it takes you to the assignment. It's a Google form. It should not take you more than just a couple of minutes to complete. I think most of you probably already have. Yeah, more than half. So we still have 7 more that need to complete it. Make sure you get that done as soon as you can. And the last thing that we did in class today, we talked about the syllabus. So the syllabus is available right here, brief syllabus overview. I'm going to go over some of the main points that I talked to 5th and 8th periods about here. Actually, I haven't talked to 8th period about it yet. It's coming later today. I'm recording just after lunch. So the description here does have a typo. I needed to make that say English 3 instead of English 2. It's an English class. We're going to do reading and writing. That's the main part of it, right? I am a big fan of both. Really enjoy reading, and I'm going to try to find stuff that we read this year that is, one, stuff that we have to do because it's junior English, and two, stuff that you're going to find engaging and at least a little bit interesting, as long as you put the effort in. You know, the more you put into something, the more you can gain out of it. If you're playing, let's say you're playing a football game or a soccer game, and the ball's coming at you, like maybe you're a receiver or the ball's being passed to you in soccer, and you just let it go by, and you don't even try to catch it, or you try to stop it with your feet in soccer, and you just like look off at the clouds and say, yeah, whatever, this is dumb, this is boring. You're not trying enough, right? You're not trying to make it more exciting. I know, like I've played sports video games before too, and in both instances, it's true. If you're not putting any effort in, you're not going to have a good time. So when it comes to the stuff that we're reading, put a little bit of effort in and try to enjoy it, and you're going to find that it's more enjoyable because you tried. One of the main things we're going to have to read is the Signed Language Arts textbook, our English textbook. If you've had English 1 or 2 here already, you're familiar with this book. We're going to use it digitally as we get started this coming week, and then once we move to a hybrid and a face-to-face model, which could be happening soon, you'll get a physical copy of the book. Hopefully you've seen something like this website before. If not, next week in class I'm going to get you all logged into it so you know how to access it. Our textbook, oh, that's not it. That's one of my other students. Our textbook, where did that happen? There it is. E-reader looks like this. A lot of cool buttons here. We'll experience those a little bit. You can do audio and have the book read to you, and it's not a computer voice. It's like an actual human being that has recorded themselves reading. When we have short stories in class and poems and things like that, if we're on remote learning like this, I will record myself reading them sometimes too. That's because in the middle of it, I will probably stop to discuss things with you about what's going on. But other times we'll have these discussions when we're in our face-to-face sessions, both through Google Meet and through the real classroom. Okay, I have a really brief overview of the 9 weeks, and this is something that I've put together just recently, and it is subject to change depending on how things go and whether or not I can get books to you. Ideally, in the first 9 weeks, we're going to start with some fiction and nonfiction analysis, and we will try, if we can, if I can get you copies of this book, to read The Great Gatsby from F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's a book that we have at school, so as long as I can get you copies of the book, you'll have it from me. If, for whatever reason, I can't get you copies, like say we don't go hybrid or face-to-face in 2 weeks, or because the school doesn't want us doing books that I could contaminate them with my germs. That might make things complicated, and if it does, I will change our plans to account for that. We'll be reading PDFs and things online instead. Second 9 weeks, we're going to move into some drama. If you've heard of The Crucible from Arthur Miller, you might be familiar with the play. It was written in the 50s, sort of at the height of McCarthyism and the Red Scare. Everybody was afraid someone was a communist. But it takes place during colonial period in America. Well, the colonies that were going to be America eventually. And it's about the Salem witch trials, people accusing other folks of being witches. It's pretty good stuff. Arthur Miller is a master playwright. Third 9 weeks, we're going to look at more fiction, thematic fiction. We'll tie things together with Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter and some short stories that thematically are related. And then the fourth 9 weeks, you're going to have your choice. You get to choose your own independent novel and make that a part of what you do as a study. We'll probably do something more like literature circles or book clubs where you and a few other people are reading the same thing. And you'll have some assignments that go along with that that'll be pretty heavily focused on discussion with some writing in between. Throughout the quarters, we're going to have some ongoing coursework. One of them is going to be nonfiction article analysis and discussion. I used to do articles of the week for classes up to English 2. In an English 3 class, we probably won't have them as weekly as we would for an article of the week, but there'll still be nonfiction topics that are high interest, things that are important to you and the world around us, and not like something about here's the process of building a stairwell. I don't know. I looked over and saw my stairs. That's why I said it. That could be interesting. Who knows? But it'll be more things that are going on currently, public events, that sort of thing. And I hope that leads to debate, right? I hope that we have a class period where all the plans I had for the period get knocked out because you guys found something really interesting to say about a piece that we read, and the whole period is spent debating, where I barely talk and you guys just take over. That's the dream. That would be amazing. And I think you would enjoy it much more than like a period of taking notes or something. And we'll have some independent reading. If we were in school regularly, I'd be giving you silent reading every Wednesday. I'm not going to make you do that when we're remote because that would be weird, right? And it's hard to track down books if you can't get one from me. I have a classroom library you can borrow from, or our school library. It's hard for you to get books there right now. So once we get into person and we're on more of a regular schedule for life, we'll work at independent reading again, silent reading. I'm going to recommend that you read all the time. If you aren't reading something right now, you should. I feel like every person should have a book they're currently reading, right? If you're asked the question, hey, what are you reading right now? You should be like, well, I just started this, or I'm finishing that. It shouldn't be like, I haven't read a book since Hungry Caterpillar. That's the last one I read. That's not a good answer, right? People get proud of like not reading like it's some kind of skill they've developed. No, man. Reading's amazing, and it's not something you do just because a teacher tells you to, right? It's something you do because you want to become a better human being. You want to live in this world where people have lived and they have stories to tell and things that relate to you. So find a book that interests you and just dig in. Who cares if it takes you a long time to read it, as long as you're enjoying it. Unless it's a book that I assign and there's a deadline, then we'll talk. We'll have some vocab and grammar work, stuff to get you ready, especially as you move into senior year or move on to college. We'll see some help with that. I talked about this morning in my fifth period class about trying to work in some stuff to get you guys prepared to write college essays if you're writing them this year, especially next year. If you're going to be a senior, then you'll be writing the college application essay. I have a suggested list of materials. None of these are required. If you need some of these things and we're in school, I have extras of most of these, so let me know. Some stuff about the requirements. Attendance, it's weird right now. We're meeting online. Try to make it to as many live sessions as you can. And if you're not able to make it to the live sessions, watch these recordings and mark yourself off on Infinite Campus. But once we get back into class, it's important that you're there because we can't recreate the discussions by me telling you what we did yesterday. You have to be there for it. And if you're sick or something, of course, then be sick and take care of yourself. No big deal. Assignment deadlines, I'm going to be flexible as we're online. Stuff's weird. But as we get back to school, I have a policy where things that are late by each day they're late, it's 10% taken off. A week after a deadline, I can't accept it any longer. So if something's going on and you're not going to be able to turn in something on time, let me know as soon as you can. Okay, I do have the weighted grades here, and please don't cheat. Copy from essays. That's about all I have time for right now. I've got a class starting in 2 minutes, so I'm going to go teach that. And if you're in 8th period, hopefully I was just as clear as I just was in the video. I don't know when you're watching it. Time's so strange. Multiple timelines, it feels like. Sorry, this is weird. Okay, I will see you Monday. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will be happy to help. Bye.